Listen up, I'm standing in front of an Audi A6 All Road wagon that I got a chance to spend a week with. So stick around and I will tell you everything you need to know about it. Ah yes, the Audi A6 All Road. A wagon. Not really a van or an SUV or a sedan, but a wagon. So it's got a mysterious and unique character, a unicorn of some sort. Now the shape. Somewhat odd, but I see that as the extra charm of this car, or the wagon in general. Now this color. It's called Dew Silver and is one of the most amazing silver colors I have ever seen. It's silver, yes, but under certain lighting it's got shades of green and light blue. It's really, really stunning. And this one is equipped with the black optics package, which gives it aggressive styling with dark gray colored bodywork and 20-inch wheels. Now, what do I think of the All Road in the styling department? And granted, picking the best looking wagon is like picking amongst a bunch of supermodels. But I think the All Road is at the top of the list, trailing only behind the Porsche Panamera and Taycan Sport Turismos. So one of the great things about a wagon is that it has much more cargo space than a regular sedan. For example, take the sedan version of the All Road, the A6. It has 13.7 cubic feet to store your things. The All Road, more than double that at 30 cubic feet. And it's not just sedans that wagons reign supreme over in this category either. So, the SUV, it's again the most popular thing on the road, and one of its benefits is the additional storage space. So naturally, it should have more cargo room than a wagon, right? Well, let me be the one to tell you that the Audi A6 All Road has more cargo space than every single SUV they make, except for their largest full-size Q7. So there you have it, a wagon. It's got more space than an SUV. But what about the rest of it? Now let's look at the interior, and I'm going to preface my thoughts with the fact that this example is equipped with the top-of-the-line prestige trim and luxury package, which gives it extended leather on the dash, armrests, and center console. So the quality. Put simply, it's great. The leather is soft, there's a nice mix of materials all over the interior, and overall it feels really nicely put together. And touching on the seats, they're very comfortable. The cushioning is great. They've got a lot of adjustability like side bolsters, thigh extension, heated, cooled, and massaging functionality. But one of my complaints is the fact that in order to access a lot of these features, I have to go into the infotainment system. I just wish there were buttons along the side of the seat. The back seats are also very comfortable and a great size. At 5'11", sitting behind myself, I have a lot of legroom, and the panoramic roof is always a nice touch. The All Road also comes standard with 3-zone climate control in the back seats and 3 charging ports, one 12-volt and 2 USB Type-C outlets. Now the technology. The All Road has 3 screens, one in front of you and 2 in the infotainment system area. I really like the setup of Audi's technology. It's very simple and easy to use. The graphics are clean and crisp, and overall interaction with the interface is good as well. One of my favorite things is the lower screen. It controls the air conditioning settings and other miscellaneous things about the interior. The reason why I like it is the extra screen real estate makes it easier to access things without having to go deep into the infotainment system. And it's a great alternative to having buttons because there's a fixed screen with functions at the tip of your finger. Now let's talk about some of the mechanics and the sophisticated stuff that's happening with the All Road. So the engine. It's a 3-liter 6-cylinder making 335 horsepower and 369 pounds-feet of torque, which has made it to a 7-speed dual-clutch automatic. The All Road is of course equipped with Audi's famous all-wheel drive Quattro system, making it accessible not only for daily driving and sunshine, but for rain, snow, and mud on or off-road. Now in terms of acceleration and 0 to 60 time, Audi clocks the All Road in at 5.1 seconds, which is more than enough for a car in this category, and more to come on that during the drive. Next, moving to fuel economy, 21 in the city, 28 on the highway for a combined average of 23. But what's more impressive is the 19-gallon fuel tank that the All Road comes equipped with, that when topped off shows a range of 550 miles, which is quite amazing. Last item on mechanics before we go to the drive, I need to tell you about the suspension. The All Road is equipped as standard with air suspension and adaptive dampers. This means that either the car can automatically or you yourself can manually adjust the ride height and how comfortable or sporty you want it to be. In addition to that, the All Road has rear wheel steering. Now, what does that do and why is it important? Now, rear wheel steering is exactly what it sounds like. The rear wheels have the ability to change direction like the front wheels do. And in the All Road, it's 5 degrees in the opposite direction and 3 degrees in the same direction as the front wheels. Now, why is this important? Because it improves turning radius, and that in turn improves maneuverability in tight spaces, which is great because the All Road isn't the smallest car. It also improves on highway speed stability. Now, with all of these mechanics out of the way, let's see what this All Road feels like behind the wheel. All right, so now the driving portion of the review, and let's go ahead and turn this thing on and go for a quick spin. So start stop is down here underneath the climate control screen. Turn it on, and let's go for a quick drive. Seat belt. And let's see what this A6 feels like behind the wheel. So one of the first things I wanted to get across is, yes, wagons are a crossbreed, so to speak, of a sedan and an SUV. But from behind the wheel, they definitely feel more like an SUV rather than a sedan. So that's just something to keep in mind. Now, I'm gonna be able to get us straight here, and let's go ahead and feel the acceleration. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in dynamic mode, which is Audi speak for sport mode. And what that does, it will sharpen the throttle response, it'll make the steering a little bit heavier, and the overall suspension will drop down to a lower setting. So Audi Drive Select, dynamic. And I'm not gonna use any launch control or anything like that, I'm just gonna mash it from a stop. And go. Takes a second to get going. Okay, quick car, obviously not gonna blow your head off with an unbelievable amount of acceleration, but it's pretty quick. Now let's get another shorter pull here. Yeah, I mean, it's good. It's more than enough for daily driving situations. I drove this in multiple different scenarios, slow, fast, in the city, on the highway, and it's got more than enough power to pass, to merge onto the highway, so no real concerns in terms of acceleration and overall speed goes. And if you have a concern, go ahead and buy the RS6. Now, let's switch gears. I'm going to go ahead and put it back in comfort mode, and I'll tell you about the overall feel and the dynamics of this wagon. And I'm going to sum it up with 2 words, and then I'll go into detail. Those 2 words are refinement and isolation. So I'll start off with refinement. This car, with its air suspension and the overall interaction from behind the wheel, is extremely refined. As I said, I drove it in multiple different scenarios. The air suspension soaks up all of the bumps, the imperfections on the road, no matter which environment, and it's wonderful and provides to that refined experience I'm talking about. It just shows that Audi has a lot of experience building wagons, even though they don't really end up in the States as often as they should. Now, the second part is the isolation. And there's the good and the bad of this, so let me start off with the good. So this car has dual pane glass, it's got that air suspension, and it's got massaging seats. So those things combined, amongst other things, provide an unbelievably isolated, calm and relaxing experience. all of the road noise, the imperfections from the road, the outside environment noise is completely muted. It's almost like you're living in a cocoon inside of this car. And that's the isolation part. The bad part about that is that sometimes when you're driving, you want to feel that you're driving. You want to get the feedback. The way you turn the wheel, when the imperfections of the road come in through the chassis. Sometimes you want to feel that. But because of the isolation and how smooth this car is, some of that gets blurred. Now, if you can get past that, this thing is absolutely amazing. It's great to drive in basically every situation. Not every, it lacks in a little bit of the sportiness, but that's what the RS6 is there for. But going to work, coming back from work, picking up your kids, going to practice, going to dinners, it does all of those things wonderfully. And it isolates you from the outside environment. It's an absolute dose of medicine for anybody who's looking for a daily driver that's calm, that's serene, that's relaxing, isolated, and kind of just calms you down when you're driving it. Something that I would imagine people want to drive after work, after dealing with work, for as an example. So for those things, this car is wonderful and exceeds my expectations of a wagon. So that's the Audi All Road A6. It's an absolutely wonderful car. It's got a nice interior, it looks great, and its smooth and refined ride rivals those of the much more expensive full-size luxury sedan segment, cars like the Mercedes S-Class, all while maintaining a very wide usage bandwidth. Now, I've driven wagons before, but not for an extended period of time like this Audi A6 All Road. And after driving it, a label came to mind. And that is, if you know, you know. Most people like wagons because they look cool, but after you experience one and drive it, you know that it's just a little more than that. So that's all I've got. If you've got any questions, please make sure you leave me a comment down below or send me a message on Instagram at DriveSteady. Otherwise, thank you for watching this video. Until next time, drive steady.